Hi everybody, there's a new youth baseball league in Wichita known as League 42. It's a league with a special mission to involve kids who might not have otherwise had the chance to play this wonderful sport. We're very pleased to have two guests here with us today. Seated next to me is Council Member Levanta Williams, and down at the end is Shannon Boone, and she is the General Chair of the League 42 Board. Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Well, maybe if you guys could start off and just explain a little bit more about League 42 and what it is and what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Well, Shannon, I'll let you start. You came in July.
I did.
We've been working since that time, so I'll let Shannon start on that.
It has been quite an undertaking. We started, Bob Lutz, sports reporter for Wichita Eagle, had put out a call on Facebook just saying he really had been thinking for a long time about starting a inner city baseball league for children and wanted to know who was interested, and he had 4 or 5 people show up to the first meeting, and it has grown and grown and grown since then. So
it's impressive. Yeah, so how many teams and kids do you have involved at this point?
We have over 220 kids involved. We've got 16 teams, 4 divisions, 4 different age groups, 5, 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and 11 through 13. So,
and we have a waiting list.
And there is a waiting list.
There is a waiting list. But also, as we look at the name, League 42, 42 was Jackie Robinson's baseball number. That was his jersey number. And that's where the 42 number came from. So it's really exciting because we had to help the young people to know who Jackie Robinson was. So they were invited to the movie. Warren Theater invited them in, and they were able to see the movie of Jackie Robinson. So I think that also helped them with the excitement, that helped them to understand who they were playing for or why or what this number actually meant. So I think that was very, very important to the kids as well.
Yeah, very significant, and I'm sure it made it really exciting for them to see the possibilities of where they might be able to progress to.
And it just gave them a time to come to the core of the city, to the middle of the city, actually to a park that had not seen as many kids in the past few years as the years before, because that community is becoming more industrial actually, and many of the people in that community are the older community, our seniors. So we don't have as many kids in that community, and so it gave new life back to McAdams Park. I really did take pictures of the parking lot on opening day.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the city's contribution and what all the city's done to really help and partner in this effort.
Well, our Park and Rec department has been excellent. We have just been great partners. So Doug Cupper has blessed the organization by being at meetings, being a part of the board, and so we appreciate all of the things that he has done before he leaves. Larry Dennis has been on board actually also since day one and been very involved. And so with myself being involved and the Park and Rec department, we sit down to make sure that this league has everything that it could possibly need. Starting out, we've been working since July to make sure that this program is going to work. We have sat down and we came up with an opening date, and we as the City of Wichita and Park and Rec Department provided a stage, the stage for the acts to be on. So we had many, many people who volunteered to come out. Even, was it Andover, Augusta?
Augusta.
We had Augusta who came in, and they played a little jazz ensemble. So that was great. We had Keith Harrison, and he played his sax. So we had some entertainment. It was a little blustery that day, a little windy. But we made it work, and so the stage was provided. The baseball fields right now, we are just getting used to being on the baseball fields. They had to be regraded, and we had to have some work done on those because they hadn't been used in quite a while. And so the Park and Rec Department has done everything they can to make this homecoming, as you might call it, a very special time for the kids and for the coaches and the volunteers that are helping out.
Wonderful team effort.
Absolutely. It has been a team effort. It's been a very good collaboration. You know, we had the chief come to breakfast about a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about some of the things that are going on. And one of the things that the chief did say was that it's going to have to be the community that gets involved with our young people, and it just so happened that League 42 was just starting, and so he was very happy with that.
And you're talking about the police chief?
The chief of police, yes. Chief Williams.
That brings up a good point because the kids are going to learn about baseball, but they're also going to learn other things as well.
Absolutely. Shannon, you want to?
They are. This is more than just playing baseball. I mean, most of these kids, before they started playing in our league, had never touched a baseball before, had never been on a baseball field. But in addition to teaching them about the sport, we're also teaching them some very significant life skills, and they're learning how to be a community, how to be a team, how to look out for each other, and it's very encouraging to watch them and watch the coaches just kind of come together and figure all these things out.
This is an opportunity for our young people to be mentored without knowing that they're being mentored. And I think that's the great thing about it. When they first came to us and we had our first meeting and our first time with the kids doing some field work, many of them didn't know which hand to put the glove on, and so we watched them struggle to figure those types of things out. So this is basically a grassroots group of young people to watch the T-ballers learn to hit the ball off of the tee. All of it is so exciting, and it's such a welcoming event to watch.
And what are the ages that are invited to play, and kind of how does it work? Who's eligible to play?
Anyone is eligible to play. If you want to play, we're not going to turn you away. We will put you on your waiting list right now. But we're ages 5 to 13. We've got 4 different divisions, like I mentioned before. Ages 5 and 6 is T-ball. 7 and 8 is coach pitch. And 9, 10, and 11 and 13 are full-on regular baseball. So they're just, the coaches are teaching them all the basics. It's very interesting. After 2 weeks of play, we're starting to see some leaders on these teams of these kids kind of coming out and showing other kids on their team how to catch a pop fly or how to hit a grounder, and it's been very, very fun to watch.
And as far as the coaches and umpires, are these paid employees, or these volunteers, or how's this happening?
All volunteers. We've got several former baseball players, college players. We've got a former Creighton coach who is actually coaching one of our T-ball teams, so that's a lot of fun to watch.
It is.
Big adjustment for him from college-age ball to 5- and 6-year-olds, but they're all really getting into kind of reviving their baseball spirit and enjoying mentoring these kids.
But as you look at it, it's also a very educational component for our parents as well, because we do have the parents sign a letter as we discuss the conduct of a parent and how they relate to their child. We want this first year to be fun. And that's one of the main things that we want. So as we look at competitive, I think we as adults are more competitive, but we want the kids to have fun. One of the other things that I so enjoy about this is that we have gone through this process and started these kids off in a classy manner, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
This was not just a buy a t-shirt and put them out there in their t-shirt and jeans. This was a very classy manner. The fields are marked, we have everything in place there. Their uniforms, the day that they got their uniforms, and Shannon can probably talk a little more to that, there was so much excitement, and I wasn't there on the day of uniforms, but I mean, it's hat to toe, they are dressed. And so I think that has added to their excitement. I did see one of the young men on a Sunday. I happened to be visiting someplace, and I saw a jersey go by, and it had 42. And I said, "Oh, you're a part of the Elite 42." And the pride is there because we dressed them in class. It was not something that we just picked up. Gloves, they take the gloves home. The gloves were purchased for them. So these kids have been dressed from head to toe, and a glove included.
That's really interesting, too, about what you brought up earlier about the code of conduct, because as a mother yourself of 2 former collegiate athletes, you know very well how important that is.
Absolutely. It's very important. And many of our kids grow up in the West Urban League, which is out on the west part of town, out near the Sedgwick County Zoo, or they've grown up on the far east side. But these kids that are right in the middle of the city, the core of the city, those are the ones that we decided were not having that that same opportunity. And so those are the ones that we wanted to say, you can still play, because we don't turn anybody away. I was there the other day and I thought a gentleman was telling me, my son can't play because we haven't paid. I said, oh, no, 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 that doesn't happen. And we got everything straight. His son was allowed to get out there. I had a great conversation with the father. And those are the things we want. We want those parents to know that we care deeply about those young people out there. So we're teaching them more than just the game of baseball. We're teaching them some life characteristics as well.
Absolutely. And we've talked a little bit about how kids in the heart of the city haven't had this chance to play, but this problem really isn't unique to Wichita, is it?
No, it's across the country. And that is one thing that we have strived to accomplish, is we're not going to turn anyone away. We do have scholarships available. Our fee for joining the league for registration is $30 per family, not per kid. That's well under the average, as I'm sure Lavonta can tell you.
I know what I paid.
It was probably not $30.
Still paying it off?
But that has made it affordable. That's been a comment we've had from several parents is, you know, I've never signed my kid up for baseball before because I can't afford it. And this has made it affordable, whether they have one child that's playing or 4 kids that want to play, they're all in for $30. And that gets them everything, glove, uniform, hat, all the coaching they need. So it's a very affordable way for them to join and get exposed to baseball.
And you guys are in fact working with the National Foundation, right?
We are. We're working with the Cal Ripken Jr. Foundation. They are helping us with some of the supplies and equipment and donors that we'll need to expand, renovate the fields at McAdams. It's going to cost somewhere around $3 million is our goal.
For what we want.
For what we want to do, yeah.
We still want to keep it classy. We still want to make sure that the kids understand you're playing on a top-notch field. And, you know, there are some times that we looked at things and we say, wow, they look like the Bad News Bears. But they have accomplished and they have learned so much over the last 2.5 weeks that I can hardly believe it. And so they're learning quite a bit, but we are going to keep everything we do at top notch. The kids should not have to want for anything.
And really develop that sense of pride in what they're doing
Absolutely.
and know that the community supports them. Tell me a little bit more about the fundraising you guys are doing and more details about what you'll do with that money.
The fundraising is going to be quite an effort, and we're going to start hitting that pretty hard here the next week. We're going to, as I said before, around $3 million is what will get us our ultimate goal, which is renovating the 2 existing fields. We're going to, with the help of the Cal Ripken Foundation, replicate the 2 fields that Jackie Robinson played on, would be Ebbets Field and Dodger Stadium, much smaller scale, of course. And then we'll add a 3rd field out there, and they will be top-notch facilities. They're going to be state-of-the-art, you know, full dugouts, concessions, the restrooms, everything is going to be scoreboards. It'll be a classy act out there.
I'll have to tell you, Laura Gal, I played on those diamonds.
Okay.
I played on those fields, and so there hasn't been an overhaul on those for some years, whether it's the concession or it's the fields or the area that's there. But we played women's ball there, and it started with the city even at that time asking, what is it that you want to do? And we said, we want to play women's ball. And so it started out with just a few teams, and it grew tremendously, but it gave women an opportunity and a chance to play softball as well. So we have many of our coaches who say, I played on these fields. It's just that for a while we have not had Little League within the city limits, and so we're just excited about it.
Yeah, it'll be really fun to see the transformation once you guys break ground and get to do all that.
The excitement that they had on Uniform Day is going to be paled.
I'm sure. Yeah, so if people are interested and they want to help out, give donations, what can they do?
They can go directly to league42.org. There's a donate tab in the upper right-hand corner, and they can donate online that way. Our mailing address, which I don't have memorized, is also on there, and we'll take donations, cash, check, credit card, any sort of equipment that they may have that they're not using anymore. We've gotten a lot of the equipment we're using through donations, so.
Sure, you'll have a lot of interest.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think we do want to take this time to thank those that have already helped us with so many of the supplies that we've needed. Without the support of some of our athletic stores here in the city, we probably could not have had the type of start that we have. So we really want to make sure that we thank them and the volunteers, and of course we as the city of Wichita are doing as much as we can to make sure that this has a solid start.
Wonderful team effort.
Absolutely it is.
Now, I know you guys mentioned that the league is full right now, but you guys are going to be doing some camps and clinics, right?
We will. That's part of our goal, is continuing the community of League 42, even in the off season. We've held throughout the winter. We had several clinics and camps, and even some just fun activities. We'll do a bowling day in July. We're taking a group of the 11 to 13-year-olds to Kansas City to see a Royals game in about a week and a half. And we'll continue things like that, and we'll have all that information on the website and on our social media pages too.
I think we also have to say thank you to Wichita State.
Oh, absolutely.
The Wichita State young men came and have worked with our young kids. Tremendous opportunity, and the kids were able to go to the Wichita State training facility. So they were able to go to the inside training facility, and the guys worked with them on the inside, and they have attended their first baseball game. So they went to the Wichita State baseball game and were able to get out on the field, and it is such a learning experience. And we might also say, this is not just for boys. You will see little girls with their pigtails.
Oh, how cute.
So we did not turn anybody away. So we want the city to know that this is an equal opportunity time for all kids to be able to play ball.
So should people just be checking your website to see when the next opportunity is to get their kids involved? Is that what you recommend?
Absolutely. We try to keep that updated. It's several times a week usually. Okay. So we'll be updating with all the summer activities, and the league schedule is up there. Anyone is welcome to come out and watch a game. I would encourage anyone to come out and watch a game. We play Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. They start at 6 o'clock, and the last game, first pitch, is at 7:45. So
I'm just mad that I missed the first game and getting to see LaWanda throw out the first pitch.
The mayor and I both threw out the first baseball of each. Now, I will tell you that the mayor asked, could he choose his own diamond first? Well, obviously he chose the one that had the most wind coming behind it, so that it would reach. So I took the less wind side, and I did pretty good. But I did tell my catcher, you catch this ball no matter where it goes.
Right. No pressure.
No pressure.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been wonderful to hear about League 42. Is there
Absolutely.
anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
thank you.
We welcome you to come out and see a game.
Absolutely.
I think you'll be hooked.
Looking forward to it. All right, well, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for watching this edition of Local Loop. Make sure to check out the website and go to a League 42 game.